welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
And I'm Carter Glasscock.
And today our friend Sam is at the doctor's office, but never fear, we have our other friend returning to the show. He is the host of the amazing comedy showcase in Los Angeles, Good Vibes Show.
Justin Otis.
Justin Otis, how's it going?
What's going good? What's going good? Sam's at the dentist.
Yeah, he couldn't get an appointment for any other day, so he's got to go to the doctor's today.
Get that gingivitis checked, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's a doctor. I don't think it's a dentist.
It's dentist,
yeah, yeah.
It's dentist. It's like you make a separate appointment.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
We support tooth health on this podcast, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Super Bowl, everybody survived when Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift marched out to the field and endorsed Joe Biden, and the Illuminati took control, but we're still here.
Yeah, we are. I mean, you did see that photo he made that he posted in response to the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, Biden.
Yes, which considering that's exactly when Israel decided to bomb the open-air prison they've been accumulating. Good timing.
Oh, yeah, great timing.
Yeah.
The Gen Z who did it was like, I sure nailed it.
I was saying the Gen Z staffer that handles his Instagram, trying to keep up with the times, is being made old and behind the times by Joe Biden, perhaps.
Yeah. But everybody get turned on by the Jesus foot washing video.
I missed that.
Where was that?
Did you not see that one?
As soon as it ended, I left the party.
It was on in the middle of it. But also I'm one of those annoying people that leaves the game to go do stuff in the kitchen and then runs back for the commercials.
Because you're feeding everybody.
Well, that too. Yeah, I made a hell of a pot roast, gentlemen.
I heard about it, but what was it about exactly?
So there's a campaign. It's started back in 2022 called He Gets Us. Oh, yeah. And it is an attempt to basically liberalize Jesus. The thought being that young people are kind of turned off by Christian, hatred, I guess, or perceived Christian hatred, what have you. And so they're trying to, give a kinder, gentler Jesus for the people. And that's cool and all, except that literally all of their donors are the most like anti-gay, fucking dickheads of all time. It's like David Green, the shithead who owns Hobby Lobby, and all these types of people. And so it's bullshit to begin with. But they had an entire commercial that seemed to be AI generated that shows Jesus washing people's feet, which based on the reaction I saw online, I guess people didn't know that was the thing he did, but that's one of his things.
I will say, and I did have a little vested interest in this category, but pound for pound, maybe the worst commercial year for Super Bowl ever.
Oh, yeah. No tops. I was at a party and we were talking about it. I feel like, does it feel to me, or does it feel like Super Bowl commercials aren't what it used to be anymore?
It was just like a smorgasbord of like celebrities where it's like it's Sylvester Stallone and
Christopher Walken
and Madonna and I don't know, Jennifer Aniston, and they're selling Snickers. Like it doesn't, like none of it. It was just a random smattering of 4 celebrities on some random product that is not associated with any of them.
Right.
That or independently wealthy conglomerates like fucking Scientology or Robert F. Kennedy.
Yes. Oh, the putting Kennedy ad.
Dude, with the Kennedy nostalgia bait shit is insane. I mean, like,
paid for, by the way, by I believe the ex-wife of somebody who founded Google.
What?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was really odd year for commercials.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, I know the Kennedys have money, but I didn't know they had that kind of money. But that was one of the things about the
Kennedy money. That'll get you an ad on the Super Bowl for sure.
You got to have money when you put one of your children in a mental institution. So
that's true. Yeah, it saved a lot of money on Rose or whatever. But no, that's
not one of his policies. I was just like, Kennedy. The name is Kennedy.
Yeah. In case you didn't know. But yeah, that He Gets Us campaign, they ran 2 commercials during the Super Bowl. Each minute of commercial time is estimated to be $7 million. So $14 million for a organization that's, theoretically supposed to be helping the poor and healing the sick. But instead...
Scientology?
Let's get... No. The Jesus one, the foot washing one.
Yeah.
The Scientology one, they're expected to waste money. That's their thing.
But it's also... Scientology is like cigarettes having an ad. It's like, people know.
Yeah.
That it's not... Like, them being like acting like it is a normal thing that people come to is like so absurd. Like then, like it's seriously like Marlboro advertising. Like you don't need to advertise,
right? Yeah, we know. Yeah, well,
like if you're desperate enough, you will go get your thetan level checked.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I wanted to mention because last week, we lost some people, and I was going to do some remembrances, but man, we ended up talking so much bullshit we didn't have time. And then a couple days ago, Fucking Mojo Nixon died.
I know, dude. That sucks.
Justin, what do you have any level of familiarity with Mojo Nixon?
When I think of Mojo, I think of Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls, but I'm pretty sure it's not this individual's dearly departed name.
No, well, so Mojo Nixon is, he's considered one of the founders of the genre psychobilly.
Yeah, dude.
So he's a kind of a country singer, but all of his songs, for the most part, are funny or really dirty for the most part.
Oh, he's like Blowfly, basically.
Yeah, very much so.
Dude, if he contributed to one of the best video game soundtracks ever, horrible game, but a great soundtrack, Redneck Rampage.
Indeed.
Oh, that was okay. I know Redneck Rampage.
You know the guy singing those. That's
it's barbecue.
Yeah.
You have big rigs and UFOs.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Or I think it's big rigs, barbecue.
Well,
and
cruising down the road on Interstate 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so a self-described voice of the doomed, the damned, and the weird died last week of a cardiac event on the Outlaw Country Cruise.
Yeah,
so
dude.
a few episodes ago, we made fun of just the idea of having themed cruises, and then one of my favorite weirdo musicians died on a themed cruise in Puerto Rico.
Partying his dick off too.
Oh yeah.
My baby's all liquored up.
I just feel like that should be the way he would want to have gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I found
Probably. I
video.
don't know.
There's video
Speaking
on.
for him, like, yeah, it was actually.
There's video of him on YouTube for his last performance, and assuming he didn't change clothes before he passed, he died dressed the way I want to be dressed. Fucking cut off jeans and a big ass Hawaiian shirt. It's like, yeah, man, if you're gonna go relaxed, baby.
He just played a show. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, but yeah, he made a bunch of records in the '80s with his longtime musical collaborator Skid Roper, and then of course in the 90s put out a fucking classic record, Prairie Home
Bodacious?
Invasion, with Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys.
Ooh, okay.
Some of his song titles: Elvis Is Everywhere, that was kind of his first big song that got him a lot of traction on MTV, and then MTV, he would cut these promos for him. He was kind of Dennis Leary before Dennis Leary.
There's just some people out there that just think they're too cool, Man, they're dressed all in black and they got the hair sticking up real high and the face is all white and everything, They're too cool to dance. They're reading books by guys from France, What's that guy, Camumu, the patron saint of the existential cow, and Nikashiki and Kierkegaard and whatnot. And they're smoking them funny little cigarettes, them stinky kind and everything. They're just too cool, And they're saying, oh, I'm 18 and I want to die. I want to kill myself. I have no reason to live. There's nothing wrong with these people that one foghorn leghorn video would not cure.
Then he made a video for his song, Debbie Gibson is Pregnant with My Two-Headed Love Child. Shit. And MTV refused to play the video because they had a very much vested interest in Debbie Gibson at that time. Right. And so he was like, fuck you, I'm done. And walked away.
The outlaw country comedian, man, was really taking shots at Debbie Gibson back then. There's all those Bill Hicks bits about, like, do you imagine Jimi Hendrix destroying Debbie Gibson?
Oh, yeah. We're like, okay, this is not...
Gibson must have had a chokehold on them there or something. This is.
Oh yeah,
I think all these men were like at this point 38 and feeling irrelevant. And they're like, I hate young people.
Oh yeah, big time. His song "Bring Me the Head of David Geffen," which David Geffen did not appreciate. He had a song called "Don Henley Must Die,"
God damn.
Which, to his credit, Don Henley apparently after the Eagles broke up in the early '90s, he did hop on stage with Mojo Nixon at a show in Austin and sang "Don Henley Must Die," and Mojo Nixon
said, he saw the joke in it, I guess.
Oh yeah, and Mojo
I should die.
yeah, I should be gone. But Mojo Nixon said that he had balls the size of church bells after that. He has songs called "I Hate Banks," "Burn Down the Malls," "Let's Go Burn Nashville Down," and
up there with "Anal Cunt" for incredible song titles.
Oh, absolutely. And unless we forget the immortal classic,
"Me, your mama, and some other whore floating down the river on a shithouse door. Gonna tie my pecker to my leg, to my leg. Tie my pecker to my leg."
Boy, what a that is a filthy fucking song, by the way. I think Mojo walked so Wheeler Walker Jr. could run.
Yeah,
but anyway,
tell you, him and Reverend Horton Heat, those were the two big guys in the 90s for Psycho.
Yeah, definitely.
Those Mojo Nixon songs on Redneck Rampage. There's only 4, and that game is really hard. you replay the same shit over and over and over again. It's very frustrating. It's also not a very good game, but like,
What's not good about the games? I do remember a commercial when I was a kid.
It's just like a Doom knockoff. That's like, but the whole thing
it's a
is
trailer park. Right?
yeah, like it's not really that imaginative. It's really hard too.
Yeah.
I would never turn off the soundtrack because every song it at least gets you like even the 8th time you hear like my baby's liquored up. And
Yeah.
she told me to be the designated driver. Like it still gets a giggle every single time. So yeah, Mojo and it got me to listen to Bodacious.
Ooh,
that album, which I
yeah,
like
there
a
we go.
lot.
Yeah, the one with Jello is my favorite. That's got.
I gotta check that out.
That's
dude.
got Are You Drinking With Me, Jesus? That's got Will the Fetus Be Aborted? Sung to the tune of Will the Circle Be Unbroken? It's quite good. Nixon, by the way, an outspoken supporter of free file sharing, and in July 2000, he publicly declared his support because he said that he was not, quote, an asshole like Metallica.
I was about to ask, was he about to do some Metallica diss tracks or something? Like,
Yeah, pretty much. He basically was just like, no, share my shit. I don't care.
Unless there was any public concern that he was at all like Metallica.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mojo retired from music in 2004, and by 2008, he was hosting 3 radio shows on Sirius Satellite Radio: Balloon in the Afternoon, which was an outlaw country show, the NASCAR-themed Mojo Nixon's Manifold Destiny on the NASCAR station, and the politically themed talk show Lying Cocksuckers was the name of his show on Raw Dog Comedy. Another little Bill Hicks nod there. Mojo announced his retirement in 2009, and as far as his politics goes, he described himself as a cynical anarchist libertarian, but this was the 2000s when if you were anti-war, libertarianism was the only game in town. And recently when he was asked about his politics, he said Donald Trump can suck my dick. So that's kind of where he was at there.
Yeah, I was going to ask because he has the songs he said like I hate banks and burn malls. I'm like, okay, this guy clearly.
Oh, and he's friends with Jello.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, that's shout out.
He never got red pilled.
No. That's the thing.
I wish I could have seen him play live. I bet it was so fun.
Same. I didn't know he unretired. I thought
Yeah.
he was still retired. Like by the time I got into him, because he retired in 2004, it was when I was working at college radio, and I had just kind of gotten into the Dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
And I saw Mojo Nixon, Jello Biafra on a CD in our little archives there at the radio station, and popped it in. I was like, oh shit, this is great. And so I kind of got into him from there. But no, he I wish I had seen him live. I need to go see Horton Heat at some point.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Shout out to Mojo. Next up, and this was a big one that I was dying to talk about last week because this guy's a fucking hero. Carl Weathers. R.I.P.
That
man.
was a twist. I did not expect that at all to happen.
I know.
Yeah.
He's
That was
just
awesome to me.
he's one of those people he'd pop up and stuff. You're like, oh, like
Dude.
he was like just
went
a fun
around-
guy showing up to whatever party he
Oh.
was at.
Went around last week just quoting Chubbs.
Oh yeah,
Dude, you know?
Chubbs.
Damn alligator bit my hand off.
I was definitely quoting him as himself on Arrested Development.
Tobias had recently hired actor Carl Weathers as a drama coach.
Do you see me more as the respected dramatic actor or more of the beloved comic actor?
Whoa. There's still plenty of meat on that bone. Now you take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato. Baby, you got a stew going.
Yes, that's fine, but I would like to focus on my acting, Mr. Weathers. I did give you my last $1,100.
Let me tell you a little story about acting. I was doing the Showtime movie Hot Ice with Ann Archer. Never once touched my per diem. I go to craft service, get some raw veggies, bacon, cup of soup. Baby, I had a stew going.
I think I'd like my money back.
Oh yeah, that too. The making the stew, anything as Chubbs.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're of a certain age, Apollo Creed, of course.
right.
But
Chubbs is really my first introduction.
yeah,
Same.
that's like, if you're guys our age and you saw Happy Gilmore and,
it's Happy Gilmore and later, Arrested Development and that kind of thing.
and The
But-
Mandalorian.
and
If you're
recently-
Gen Z. If
Yeah.
you're Gens, then
Yeah.
it's Mandalorian.
It does pop into my head sometimes how Burger King, you can get as many refills as you can. and
Yes.
stuff. And I was just like, oh, yeah, you can. Because, you know,
I think he goes, that's just something you can do here at Burger King. And then they cut to the outside showing the logo. Fucking great. But actually, I found this out. I did not know this. He's from your neck of the woods, man. He's born in New Orleans.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
shit. I didn't know know that.
Yeah, he played college football at San Diego State and then signed as an undrafted free agent linebacker for the Oakland Raiders for 2 seasons. Retired in 1974 and began pursuing an acting career. So there was a clip I saw of Sylvester Stallone talking about the first time he met him, and he like stood up, and of course Carl Weathers is like twice the size of him, and he was like, I think this is going to work out just fine.
And then I stood up and literally took his shirt off and went, oh my God, am I in trouble? Because I kind of looked like Pooh Bear at the time. I did. And he looked like Adonis. So, and he banged about 3 shots off my forehead, and I went, hired.
If you're supposed to be my unbeatable opponent.
It was camera trickery to make it seem like you were the same height, basically.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So he started off doing a tour of the entire 1970s television landscape, appearing in episodes of Good Times, Kung Fu, Barnaby Jones, The $6 Million Man, and Starsky & Hutch.
Wow.
I was like, damn, that's all of them.
That was the one commercial where I was like, when they did the tribute to Carl Weathers, I was like, no, that I can.
If the entire Super Bowl is just random old celebrities, then invariably some of them are going to die before the commercial comes out. Yeah. It's awesome because he was a big star in a Sylvester Stallone movie and a big star in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So.
Predator, dude.
Went back and forth.
Yeah.
He was really big in the 80s. So
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. He died in his sleep on February 1st here in Los Angeles. That's Carl Weathers. So we're going Happy Gilmore. Is that our favorite Weathers?
I think it is.
Yeah, dude.
It's like my first introduction as a kid. I watched that and I was like, oh yeah. Then I saw Rocky afterwards. I was like, oh hey, it's Chubbs, but younger Chubbs. And so I was like, this is wild. This is wild about it.
You're Pretty Sick, Chubbs was a favorite quote. amongst the youth of my upbringing.
Next one I got to talk about. It was like the weirdest trinity of people.
This
last
one
week.
made me sad, dude.
This was very sad. Wayne Kramer, of course, the co-founder and guitarist of the MC5.
Such a badass dude. Like, I mean,
from the beginning right up until he died, a fucking badass.
So I saw the band Fucked Up.
Oh hell yeah!
And that dude is awesome. And with Super Chunk,
nice.
And a friend of the show, Jordan Morris, was there.
Oh, nice.
And it was great. And they dedicated the set to Wayne Kramer.
Bring out the jams, motherfucker!
Rob Tiny, just go ahead and calling it off. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. My shout out to my friend AG. He was the guy who got me into the MC5 when we were in high school.
I was gonna say, honestly, shout out to Rage Against the Machine for covering the song on.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's what got me into it.
That too. Shit. I think he's the one who got me this record, but yeah, he was the one who told me who they were and
All
stuff
three
like
of their
that.
albums are hot fire.
Oh yeah. The band's manager, by the way, was the poet and radical activist John Sinclair. John Sinclair and the MC5 were founders of Detroit's White Panther Party, which was an offshoot of the Black Panthers. Huey Newton, this was his idea. He was they were like, what's the best way to help out the cause? He's like, start your own group. Go be the White Panthers. And so they did. And they were also eventually brought down by COINTELPRO, like every other, just like the Black Panthers. Sinclair wrote the liner notes for Kick Out the Jams. He says, the MC5 is the revolution in all its applications. There is no separation. Everything is everything. There's nothing to fear. The music will make you strong as it is strong, and there's no way that it can be stopped now. And he says, stay alive with the MC5 and kick out the jams, motherfucker. So he was eventually arrested for possession of marijuana and given 10 years in jail. John Sinclair.
What a good sentencing there.
Yeah, and around that same time, John Lennon got himself a slide for his guitar and wrote a kind of annoying protest song about John Sinclair. But anyway, so Hudson's department store in Michigan, they refused to carry Kick Out the Jams because of the opening of the song. And MC5 then released a poster that said, stay alive with MC5 and fuck Hudson's. And that got them fired from Elektra Records. Because they included the Elektra logo on the poster. They played outside the 1968 Chicago Democratic Convention, and they toured the U.S. extensively, but ultimately faced insurmountable challenges, both from being being banned from the radio and from harassment by the government, and they eventually disbanded in 1972. Kramer ventured into other musical projects. Also, by his own admission, he became a small-time Detroit criminal.
I was gonna say he had a rough period after the MC. Like he was homeless for a minute. Like, he was like selling drugs. Like he was. I mean, but yeah, he was kind of fucked up after the MC5 broke up.
Oh yeah,
but he got his shit back together.
Yeah, well, he sold drugs to a federal agent and ended up in prison.
Yeah,
and started an organization with Billy Bragg actually called Jail Guitar Doors, and they raise money to give musical instruments to people who are incarcerated. So yeah, man, he's a real one, man. I love Wayne Kramer, and he died of cancer on February 2nd, and then last, fucking Toby Keith.
That one drew me for a loop. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, it was like because you didn't see any like photos of him looking sick or anything.
So that one actually I did kind of know about his illness, at least because of this show, because I was looking to do another Toby Keith jam of the day. Jam of the week, and started reading comments, and it was all people being like, hope you get better soon, Toby. So I kind of knew he was on the way out. So,
I mean, say what you will, there are some bangers in his catalog.
I mean, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Years ago? Is it kind of a deadbeat dad throwing caution to the wind out of a Miata kind of song? Sad though,
Sad, but also I did laugh. Somebody on Twitter called him country music's Lenny Riefenstahl.
Shit. I mean,
oh boy, he certainly was on the wrong side of history at a pretty crucial point.
There is that music video he has of where a New Yorker basically walks into a bar and stuff, and you can tell the way the New Yorker looks. It's supposed to be about a certain group of people. Basically.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. But I mainly just wanted to mention Toby Keith to mention the thing that Ethan Hawke wrote about him in 2009. So in 2009, actor Ethan Hawke wrote a guest story for Rolling Stone magazine about an altercation that happened backstage at the Beacon Theater in New York City for Willie Nelson's 70th birthday in 2003. And Ethan Hawke never specifically names Toby Keith, but you are very much meant to infer that this is Toby Keith. He says, the night of the concert, Keith walked past Willie and Chris Christopherson, who were standing together, and told Willie, happy birthday. But then he made a snarky remark to Christopherson saying, none of that lefty shit out there tonight, Chris. And, of course, needless to say, Chris Christopherson did not take kindly to these remarks and said, what the fuck did you just say to me? Because Chris Christopherson was, in the army.
Yeah.
Also, Chris Christopherson is like, motherfucker, like, I've been making hints since you were like a dirty look in your dad's eye. Like, don't you fucking talk to your,
Yeah. Willie knew that Keith had just struck a nerve saying, oh no, don't get Chris all riled up. Keith proceeded to say, you heard me, and began to walk away. Don't turn your back to me, boy. He says, I don't want any problems, Chris. I just want you to tone it down. Chris, a former Army Ranger and helicopter pilot, said, you ever worn your country's uniform? What? Don't what me, boy? You heard the question.
Whoa.
You just don't like the answer. Have you ever served your country? The answer is no. Have you ever killed another man? Have you ever taken another man's life and then cashed the check your country gave you for doing it? No, you have not. So shut the fuck up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then Chris told those nearby, you know what Waylon Jennings said about guys like that? They're doing to country music what pantyhose did to finger fuck.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Wow.
So it's weird because Ethan Hawke wrote this, that he says it happened. Ever since that came out, both of them, Toby Keith and Chris Christopherson, both deny that was what took place. But
I can't believe that Chris Christopherson would say some shit like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And this is 2003 too, so we're talking like height of the Iraq War, the beginning of the Iraq War.
So you're
really
saying that Ethan Hawke made it up.
Yeah, apparently.
Wow.
According to them. But anyway, Toby.
That was a good burn. Okay, if he made it up, then Ethan Hawke's really good at writing sick burns. I mean,
yeah.
The whole country, equating country music to pantyhose nowadays. That's something like,
Well, supposedly Waylon said that about Garth Brooks back in the day, in the 90s.
Damn.
Yeah. He said that Garth Brooks is doing the country music what pantyhose did to finger fucking.
Also, did you see the We Are the World documentary?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Dude, yeah.
Oh my God, I have to now, just for Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Waylon Jennings comes off as kind of a dick face.
I would have to imagine just in that situation, especially in the 80s when people are probably a little less aware of their public image than they are now. Just that many egos in one room.
What has Bantyhose done to finger fucking? I don't get it.
I mean, it's stopping you from the action,
That's what Toby Keith's doing, stopping you from the action.
Yeah. Like you want good country music, but he's giving you the safe stuff.
Waylon Jennings is a rapist. I think that's what we're skipping over here.
Hey, America's done gone berserk. Some people's acting like a jerk. The whole land done gone crazy. It's time to hear something from me. That's right, it's time to hear something from me. I'm Mojo Nixon. Let me tell you, man. America was founded by people, the outcasts of Europe. America was founded by a revolutionary. It's founded by slaves, founded by people that were kicked out of other countries. Revolutionary, religious nuts, weirdos, mutants, geeks, revolutionary. All kind of people come over here, and America was the free land. America was the young, the brave, the free. It was the bodacious, it was. We need some new revolutionaries. We don't need to be fat and ugly. We need to be a mean, lean, sex machine country. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And the freight train of love, the freight train of freedom is taking off. Let's get it going, boys. Train I ride, 16 coaches long.
Y'all, it's that time. We've got our ungodly concoction for the day, and have Justin go ahead and tell us
chocolate?
What do we got?
We got LFG burn.
Let's fucking go!
Oh God! Optimize fat loss, burn more calories, flavor cherry blast.
Pre-workout. This shit makes you feel nuts.
And it's supposed to be a buck.
Yeah,
that's a symbol. So
it's made by Bucked Up, based out of Utah.
Oh God!
We had our little theories about this being Mormon based, and those are in fact correct.
The fact is the edge for them is saying bucked up. It's from Utah.
Yeah. Some of their other flavors that we've tried on the show, they have one called Gym and Juice, as in like going to the gym.
I can't say jam and juice.
Yeah. And then my personal favorite, Killa OJ.
Oh God!
Get it? Because he killed those two people.
See, it definitely is made by Mormon because they think this is like their idea of like, I'm sticking it to the man.
100%. This is the closest to being an edgelord that you can get as a Mormon. Is calling
Justin
something.
Would be proud of me right now if I did this.
Calling something LFG. So on the website it says, we know energy, not just the kind of energy you get from caffeine. We're talking real, long-term power. When we do something, we go all out. So
0 calories.
It's got the 0 sugar. It's got the 0 calories
from DOS Labs.
Yeah. And as I said, based out of Utah. So I made certain assumptions about the Bucked Up product based on where they were
when you
from.
feel it, you just got bucked up.
And it turns out I was correct because Bucked Up was founded by the Mormon twin brothers Ryan and Jeff Gardner. And I did watch most of a podcast called Silicon Slopes. So you've got, Silicon Valley. You've got Silicon Beach down here in LA. In the ski slopes of Utah, it's Silicon Slopes.
What? That would be called... wait, what? No.
They're trying to make...
There are more silicon places.
They're trying to make fetch a thing. Don't stop them. There was a kind of a horrifying part of this podcast because they're interviewing these, twin brothers that obviously grew up together. And the host was being like, oh, where did you get your go-gettedness for this, for this whole energy drink thing? So I think it was Jeff. Yeah, Jeff recalls a time he forgot to feed the chickens, and his dad got so angry that he, quote, kicked his butt all the way to the chicken coop. And I thought he meant in a metaphorical way,
same.
like bitched him out. No, his father literally kicked him until he broke his arm in half.
Jesus.
Like both bones of his arm. And
so he bucked up his arm.
Yeah, he's telling this story as if it's the normalest thing. He's like, I mean, today he'd be arrested. I was like, he should have been arrested then.
But now he's old.
I was like,
patting him on the back.
Also, this is The Shining, you realize. That's what Jack does to Danny in The Shining as he breaks his arm.
Jack was drunk.
Yeah, that's the worst part is he's Mormon. performance. This motherfucker's sober.
So he was doing it intentionally.
Oh yeah. In the podcast they say our dad would spank the neighbors, our grandpa would spank us. Like their whole childhood was beatings, and that's and then it said
I shouldn't laugh. That's sad.
and it's fucked up, but then it says this is where they learn their strong work ethic and how important it is to work hard.
To distract yourself from the horrifying reality of your childhood.
I was tortured into doing what my parents wanted me to do. Ryan started working on
Geez, I'm going to feel bad giving this a bad review.
Well,
this is born of childhood trauma.
I mean, they're in Walmart now, so who gives a shit? They did it. They won. Ryan started working on...
No, this is a decisive factor. Our review makes or breaks these drinks. Because I've seen some of these drinks just not on the shelves anymore. Coincidentally after our reviews.
So last week we reviewed a thing called Hawaiian Nectar by a brand called Fit Aid, and I put up the clip of us talking about it, and the CEO commented and was like, "You guys are my new favorites. I'm showing this to the whole team." And I'm like, we shit on you for like 20 minutes, man. He's a DJ and everything. We found his SoundCloud.
I was worried when this was going to become free advertising for psychopaths.
I mean, we're not super nice about it, but whatever.
At least give us some of that scratch.
I wish it was a better energy drink, because the energy drink was so like nothing. If the CEO of Alani Nu, for instance, wants to jump aboard,
Kim Kardashian?
Oh hell yeah! Let's get Kim on the show. Talk about Kim Aid. I love it. It's my new favorite. But
we have a few more guests lined up. Then we'll see.
Yeah. Ryan started working on sales floors, upselling people personal coaching on missionary seminars. So they have these big Mormon seminars, and then he would get the list of who all's going to the seminar and call them and be like, "Hey, for $500 extra, we'll coach you personally on Mormonism."
Most of these people who make these energy drinks really like to convey how they believe in themselves.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And then he says, while reading Sports Illustrated, the Twins saw an article about deer antler spray being banned in the MLB. And I didn't know what that was.
Was it used in the MLB?
Yes. Have you heard about this shit?
No.
Okay, so when a deer, deers lose their antlers every year. When they begin growing back, they're covered in these fine hairs called deer velvet. And
you spray it on the ball or something, and
well, no, it's like a spray for you. I think it started in traditional
it makes you so horny you can't think about playing baseball.
Well, no, they say it offers
a rotten trick.
It offers you a quick recovery time. So you spray it they I guess turned it into a spray, and you spray it underneath your tongue, and it supposedly gives you a quick recovery time. And at one point, Ray Lewis got scolded because he apparently used deer antler spray before the Super Bowl, and so the NFL was going to ban it. So these guys bought deer antler spray.
Does it really give you that much of an unfair advantage?
No, it's all homeopathic stuff. It's completely psychosomatic. There is no study on this doing anything.
It's just the idea is giving you something. Really, it's not doing anything.
Right. It's
the equivalent of having a lucky rabbit's foot and banning that from the NFL.
Yeah, or eating a tiger dick or whatever.
Right. Which does work. I ate one before this podcast.
Oh yeah,
I feel very good.
Oh yeah, I shut my car door with my dick earlier. But
I did that on accident. But I did eat a tiger dick.
But yeah, it's used in Eastern traditional medicine and stuff like that. But anyway, they bought the website and started selling this stuff. So they bought it for $5 a bottle, and we're selling it for up to $100 a bottle at one point because the demand was so high after the Ray Lewis story came out. So, but that's why it's called Bucked Up, in case you're wondering. It's a reference to the deer antlers, which, as far as I could tell,
did not even know that was a thing. I thought it was just it's from the forest.
No, I thought it was just a pun on fucked up, but no, it's because they originally sold deer antlers to spray on your tongue to make you magic at football.
Well, it could be a double entendre, basically, where
that's true.
Deer antlers basically feel you are getting fucked up, but in reality, you're not getting fucked up.
Right.
It's
well, what they said was it give you a quicker recovery time. So there was some football player who fucked up his tricep, and he was back on the field after a month. And he credited deer antler spray. And it's like, no, you have literally a team of dietitians and physical fitness people.
Props. Give them the praise. They're the ones helping you be this way.
It's not magic deer fur. But anyway, let's give it a try. Like I said, as far as I know, there's no deer antler in this, but they do have it in some of their energy drinks.
Or sugar or calories.
That's right. Oh, boy.
Ooh, nice clip sound. Oh, God. That's what burns. Oh, man. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. That's
it's so oddly pornographic the way you do it, Rivers.
I gotta say, it smells really goddamn good. And it smells very...
Does? Let's see.
It smells very, like, authentically cherry.
It does smell good.
It does.
Ooh. Uh-oh. We might have a problem. I love that.
Okay, the Mormons came through for this. All right.
Hey, say what you will.
How much caffeine's in it?
Now, I will say that if they started giving Mormons a can of Bucked Up, and when they come to your door, they knock on it and say, would you like to hear the Mormon Bible? And I'm like, no, thank you. But we got a can of Bucked Up. I'm like, okay, I'm interested.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
They led off of some Bucked Up.
Yeah.
And it might be
anything that makes
sugar makes the medicine go down.
I might give them a few minutes.
Anything that makes this lecture go faster is good. Or feel faster. No, I don't know if you knew this. You guys can sick Mormons on people. Did you know that?
No.
If you have somebody who's annoying you, you can go to mormon.org, and at least it used to be. I don't know if they're still doing this, but you can request a free copy of the Book of Mormon. And when you do that, it gives you two options. You can have it mailed to your house or hand delivered by missionaries. And then you just...
Oh, hand delivered by missionaries.
So if you have the address of someone you want...
That little extra touch is really what makes the entire process worthwhile.
So if anyone has if you have the address of, somebody who you want to minorly annoy...
I'm going to do that. Thank you.
Punch it in. There you go. Send them your way. All right, let's...
Yeah, I guzzled mine. It tastes good. It tastes very sweet for a zero sugar drink, which is concerning.
Yeah, something about this feels wrong in many different ways. I don't know what it is.
This product is intended to be consumed by healthy adults, 18 years of age or older. Okay, each serving contains 160 milligrams of caffeine.
What? That ain't shit. 160.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I don't feel like crazy. How much is 160?
That's like... it's like a Red Bull-ish, something like that.
Oh, so it's a Red Bull.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't taste fucking
That's 2 cups of coffee. So, yeah, we all just drank 1/3 of 2 cups of coffee. I can't
do that math. Yeah, I was going to say, how much is that? Is that
if I did that math, I'd be...
is that 75% of a cup of coffee?
Look, I could build a suspension bridge if I could do that math.
No, wait. No, it's not. It's 66% of a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. This is embarrassing. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm giving that. Honestly, I would drink that again any day. I'm giving that.
Yeah, I would. I didn't come into this podcast completely dead on my ass, so I can't tell if I'm getting a lift from it.
I would give it a chance too. It's much better than Bang though. Bang Bang was just horrible, but this is much more. It's the right vibe or right formula. Those Mormon twins, I guess child abuse actually did work for them.
Sure.
Yeah, their old man beat the goodness into this can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of their old man sweat and tears into this can. Now here's the thing. Also, Bucked Up, does it make good on that name? Because I don't feel bucked up.
I'm going to need at least 200 mgs to feel bucked up.
I think because it's from Mormon. I think this is their idea of what could get someone bucked up. Like they're ooh, this is spicy for us, so it's going to be spicy for all these normies. And we're like, we need like 3 to get to your level.
Right. And because it's like the prospect of like sweet tasting alcohol or something. It goes down easy, so it's dangerous, as the kids say.
Oh, yeah.
So you could drink like 3 of those and get so bucked up that you crash your car into a telephone pole.
Right. Like this is made for someone who would say guacamole or eating avocado is spicy. It's basically like this is made for them, like, ooh, it's too spicy for me. It's like, dude, it's just avocado.
Yeah. It's fine. Chill out. Yeah, I don't know. I've been accused of getting too extreme with my ratings, so I'm going to say 4.5 instead of 5.
But there's never any 3s with you. It's like 1 or 4 or 5.
It's binary because it is literally I will either never drink this again or I would absolutely drink this again. And that's where it's at.
Maybe you're right. There's no need for nuance in reviewing fucking energy drinks.
This I would drink again. Absolutely. In a second. I like that the cherry flavor is not cherry flavor. It's kind of tastes more like cherries than like a Jolly Rancher or something like that. But yeah, that's me.
All right.
What you think?
I'll give it 4.
4?
I like it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm with you. 4.5.
All right.
It's good. It tastes good.
What are we saying, Justin?
I'm gonna say 4 as well. Again, I think the twins have really got something going on here. I hope they are able to. I think I really mean it. They really want people to get involved in Mormonism. They really should give each missionary a can of bucked up to give it to a person, being like, "You've heard of this, right? This is from us.
That's
so
true.
Give us a shot." And people be like, "Okay, I'll try it." And so. I like this. It's nice balance, not too energy, not too sugary, just right. And again, I really hate Bane in his existence. And so this takes over Bane in every store. I'll be happy.
Well, Celsius already did that.
Oh, perfect.
So
good.
Bang, their owner pissed off Pepsi, so they got dropped, and Celsius got picked up.
Right,
so
right here.
If you noticed in the last couple of years, a big turnover in your local 7-Eleven from Bang to Celsius. That'd be why.
Okay.
I like the feel of the can. It's kind of
it's got a matte finish.
Yeah.
It's not too bulky. It's just right. Just you can be able to hold it easily.
I could see myself late at night waking up, rubbing that against every part of my body. You guys with me on that one?
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay, cool.
President's Day is coming up Monday, and
The best holiday there is.
The one you always forget about. You walk up to the bank
for obvious reasons.
Right.
Like, you should just have Abraham Lincoln Day, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
that one and Columbus Day are the two where you walk up to the bank, pull the handle really fucking hard. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, you forget. Right, it's a government holiday.
Yeah. Then you got to think about it real hard. But no,
you go into the bank?
Huh? Sometimes, for a long time now, they've created an app that you have to pay the rent for here, and they charge you a like $3 convenience charge.
Yeah, ours is like $9 convenience charge.
I bet mine goes up. I bet mine goes up because they just introduced it, and then like 2 months later, they're like, it's gonna be $3 now.
This is why y'all are bad with money, because I'm like, I'll pay the charge. I'd pay that amount of money to not go inside and talk to a person.
But for a long time, they wouldn't take personal checks. I had to go get a cashier's check from Wells Fargo for years. So that would be my reason to go to the bank. But no, I was, cruising history.com as I normally do, and came across something kind of fun. I was going to see if you guys, what do you know about the death of George Washington?
I know that the doctor gave him leeches, and because they thought leeches would take the bad blood cells away and not the whole blood away, and so I know he died due to medical incompetence and
for sure. It wasn't
syphilis, right? He had syphilis.
No, I didn't have syphilis, and it wasn't leeches exactly. So it's definitely other presidents who I maybe had syphilis, but there was a big
George H.W. Bush, big syphilis guy.
By the end, David Copperfield, all that shit.
Millard Fillmore, genital herpes, big time.
There was an article today. It was Genevieve Carlton writing for All That's Interesting, and also Christopher Klein writing for History.com. And I was going to share this with you guys because George Washington's death was fucking horrifying. And since it's his special day on Monday, I figured I'd share this with you. So while much is known about the life of America's first president, far less is understood about George Washington's death. In December of 1799, America's most famous founding father suddenly fell ill. At first, there seemed to be no cause for alarm. By that point, Washington had already survived an impressive number of diseases, including malaria, smallpox, tuberculosis, dysentery, tonsillitis, and pneumonia.
Jesus.
Tonsillitis was just to round out the list.
Tonsillitis would absolutely kill you in the 18th century, though.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. You know, one of the most diseased presidents, I think, safe to say.
I can only imagine what his breath smelled like.
Well, and considering all of his teeth were wooden and ivory and rotten and dead people's teeth. Terrible. But yeah, so When Washington complained of a sore throat, no one expected it to be the end, but in a matter of days, Washington would be dead at the age of 67. So was the problem really a sore throat? And if not, how did George Washington die? No one knows for certain, but this may have been a case where the treatments were actually worse than the disease itself. When doctors quickly rushed to Washington's Mount Vernon home, they had only 18th century treatments at their disposal, and sadly, these methods...
medieval treatments.
Straight up medieval shit. These methods made George Washington's death an agonizing affair that remains disturbing more than 2 centuries later.
Jesus. For a sore throat.
Probably just had a strep throat. That's all. He probably some soup could have done, and he'd been like,
a few days rest.
Yeah.
Well, they tried that, I think. So on September 17th, 1796, Washington announced that he would not seek a third term and instead would return to his Mount Vernon estate. There, Washington.
So this is before they ruled that there could be no third term.
He set the precedent of that. So it was never officially a rule until after FDR died, because FDR won 4 terms, and then the Republicans had more power starting after World War II. So they were like, we're shutting this down because, he gave poor people money. So fuck him. We can't have that for 16 years. That's absurd.
Sure.
So yeah, they kind of shut that whole thing down. But before it wasn't a rule. It was a precedent that was set by Washington for not. So basically everyone was coming in being like, I don't want to serve more terms than George Washington. And then,
Georgie boy? Yeah, no.
Right. But when FDR ran for the third term, it was because the war was going on. And he's like, we got Hitler to worry about. I need a third term and a fourth term that lasted a few months before he killed over. But anyway, Washington spent his days managing 5 farms, 800 animals, and 300 enslaved human beings. So always keep that in mind, because later in this, they're like, he died surrounded by his wife and his friends and his workers. His employees. Like, yes.
Interns. The interns. You know those interns.
So on Thursday, December 12th, 1799, George Washington was out on horseback supervising farming activities. Fun way to put that.
Oh, Jesus.
From the late morning until 3 in the afternoon. The weather shifted from light snow to hail and then to rain. Upon Washington's return, it was suggested that he change out of his wet riding clothes before dinner. Known for his punctuality, Washington chose to remain in his damp attire.
Okay, so he just died of a cold.
The stupidest shit.
That's dumb as fuck. So this motherfucker was out here like, nah, I'm good. I survived everything.
I've survived the Battle of Yorktown, God damn it.
I'll tell you, the heel turn of the hundreds of slaves he owned is makes the dying of a cold much more fun, and the ensuing, I'm sure, medieval treatments.
Oh, it's obviously bad dude George Washington, but the way he went out, you're like, okay, I feel like you served some sort of penance for the shitty life you led, considering how bad this is about to get. So, yeah, he sat at dinner the whole time. The next morning, it was snowing, and this did not stop Washington from making his usual rounds around the farm on horseback. But as he attended to the estate, he developed a bad sore throat. This grew worse as the day progressed, and that evening, he was unable to read the newspaper aloud to Martha. So now his throat is like fucked up so bad he can't talk.
He used to read the newspaper aloud to Martha, huh?
Yeah, fun husband and wife activity. There was nothing to do at this point. You have to remember, 18th century, 1799, reading out loud to your wife. That's an evening around the television
Everyone's just
set.
lighting farts and just whooping off 8 times a day. There's nothing to do.
In your damp clothes, too.
Yeah, in your damp clothes.
Just not even comfortable with it.
Apparently, downtown, there was a horse that was unruly for 20 minutes, but was thusly calmed. And Martha's like, tell me more, George. So then he lights a fart and she laughs, and then they go to bed.
Well, they have a pillow fight, and then they go to bed.
Yeah. That's how people laughed back then.
So Washington, the next day, he awoke with trouble breathing, and doctors descended on Mount Vernon in hope of reviving the former president. In the next few hours, they would try again and again to save Washington's life, but they only made the situation worse.
Punching him in the face is not working.
You're being funny, but it's not that far off.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right. So the 3 physicians on the scene attempted to cure Washington with treatments that were common during the 18th century. In particular, they leaned heavily onto bloodletting, the withdrawal of blood, which was meant to cure diseases. By the time Washington died, his physicians had removed 80 ounces of his blood
from his nipples,
which is roughly 40% of all of the blood in his body.
Oh, geez.
God.
They drained almost half of his blood during that time. And bloodletting wasn't the only treatment they tried. One doctor, Gustavus Brown, recommended a dose of mercurius chloride and tartar anemic, which induced violent vomiting. So they bled him out.
Oh, Jesus.
So he's already not feeling great. And they're like, you know what you need for you being slowly suffocated by your lymph nodes is you need to vomit a bunch. And that's how it's described in his writing. Yeah. So his throat's already fucked up. He's lost a lot of blood and he's just... like, this is horrifying.
Probably shitting his pants a little bit too in the midst of that. You know what I mean?
Funny you mention that. Yet another doctor administered an enema. So he was definitely shitting his pants.
These are the future doctors of America. Right?
Yeah. So we're at...
Now with the enema, we do have to place on the tip of this canine's penis.
So now we've got, he's lost a tremendous amount of blood. He's been violently vomiting, and now he's had an enema stuffed up his ass.
Well, to keep him vomiting, some of the doctors had to fart in his face because he found it to be disgusting.
Dr. James Craik, the general physician for the United States Army, then swabbed Washington's throat with a paste made out of pulverized poisonous beetles.
You Dr. Quacks need to step aside. Let a military man handle another military man's affairs.
He's just got
to have Beetlejuice.
Yeah, literally put Beetlejuice in him. So it's called cantharidin, and it's...
Did his like mouth just dislodge like a snake, and he just like put his whole hand on his...
That would be preferable to this, because cantharidin, when it's put on the skin, causes horrifying blistering.
God.
So they shove a toilet scrubby down his throat with beetle poison, and now his throat is filled with blisters.
So I think Washington was kind of like what's his character from Reservoir Dogs, Mr. Pink's like, I'm having a fucking bad day right now.
100%.
Bad day. You get shot and just fucks up the whole.
What was the original thing? He had like a migraine,
a sore throat. He had a bad sore throat. Yeah, and the idea, by the way, because at the time 1700s medicine was, essentially the same as Aristotelian medicine from way back pre-medieval, and that was because they believed in the four humors, which is blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. And they believed that if the four humors of your body were in balance, you were healthy, and then if something was off, that they had to...
Like if you have more blood than black bile...
Yes, yeah, then you have to
unhealthy.
Increase your black bile. And I believe that blisters are in this... understanding of medicine, blisters are yellow bile, I think. So the idea is like, oh, we've let too much of his blood go, so now we'll raise the level of yellow bile, and maybe that'll
injecting
help him
with
beetle
bug guts.
juice. Yeah, bug guts.
Yeah, bug guts and soot. And yellow bile you can replace by peeing in his mouth.
So after the president's throat was completely destroyed by blisters, they instructed him to drink a blend of butter, molasses, and vinegar, at which point he nearly suffocated.
Oh,
God. This is a kill me situation. I would ask to be shot in the head.
Day you ever had a sore throat.
There had to be a bad place. Like, I want to save the president of America. No, I'm going to save the president of America. Okay, let's see who can save him.
There's 3 doctors standing around him trying to do all this stuff to him. They later gave him green tea and vinegar, and he nearly suffocated again.
Jesus. Just give him green tea. Maybe that would have helped at the beginning. Just, hey, how about some green tea?
Just quit fucking with his throat.
Yeah, just green tea.
Quit putting shit in him.
It's not doing anything. So by the late afternoon...
Got to put more toilet bugs in there.
By the late afternoon, Washington's 4th bloodletting in 12 hours and an application of wheat paste to his throat. So So the Beatles didn't work. So now let's shove a bunch of flour down him.
Were these doctors of an opposing political party or something? Were these like all like trying to hide their British accents or something?
I feel like
Right, probably needs more. I mean, he needs more bug guts.
is it possible the house was one of the doctors and stuff and just came in? It's like, you fools are idiot. Obviously, he's suffering from meningitis, so we got to put some horse tranquilizers in his throat.
We got to put this gold medal flour all the way down his throat. Yeah, so they spackled his throat with wheat paste. The weakened former president was struggling for air once again. He turned to Craig and said, "Doctor, I die hard, but I'm not afraid to go. But my breath cannot last long.
I like kill me, please."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Leave me the fuck alone. George Washington rose from his bed for the final time the next day at 5 p.m. He told Tobias Lear, his secretary, quote, "I find I am going," which is a real fun way to say I'm dying.
Kramer's gone.
"I find I am going. I believe from the first this disorder would prove fatal."
And he didn't say anything. He wasn't like, "Yo, bro, I think the first one, I think this is not going to work. We try to do."
It started as a sore throat.
Right.
I feel like you maybe.
And that's what you get when you announce the news to your wife every night in the newspaper.
After reviewing his will, Washington returned to bed. The doctors applied more toxic beetle paste, this time to create blisters all over the president's arms, legs, and feet. So now his throat is covered in blisters and his entire body pretty much.
Jesus. It looks like the fucking Elephant Man at this point.
Horrifying, dude. Like, kill me.
More wheat paste.
Yeah, the wheat paste was helping. Roll me in flour.
No, what they should have, they took the wheat paste and then they like kind of crammed it into his urethra.
Oh no!
My throat, not my tallywhacker, which is what they called it back then.
Yeah, so he's got the blisters all over him. About 2 hours later, Washington gave Lear instructions for his burial.
His only instructions, soon.
Yeah, immediately. So Washington was always afraid of being buried alive. That was apparently a lifelong fear. So he said, "Do not let my body be put into the vault less than 3 days after I am dead."
Wait, he's just smelling up the joint then.
Yeah.
Dude, he was a stinky motherfucker.
They wanted. He was like, "I want, don't bury me because you guys got to make sure I'm dead.
Chop his head off."
Yeah, that'll do it. Lear nodded at Washington. Washington asked, "Do you understand me?" When Lear finally said yes, Washington
crying bug guts.
When Lear finally said yes, Washington uttered his last words. "'Tis well."
And died.
That's it. At some point between 10 and 11 that night, December 14th, 1799, George Washington died with Martha Washington and his employees standing at the foot of his bed, repeating what her husband had said before his death. "'Tis well." Modern day physicians believe that Washington was suffering from acute bacterial epiglottis. So again, just like an inflamed ass sore throat. Mm-hmm. But there is a little a fun little postscript to this. So when the news of the 67-year-old former president's illness reached Washington, D.C., this is when we get one of those great people when you're reading history stories that just pops in for a visit and you're like, "Hey, wait, I'm done with George Washington. Who is this guy?"
Okay.
That guy's name is William Thornton, who made the familiar journey to Mount Vernon, where he was a frequent guest of the president. Thornton was born in the British West Indies in 1759, attended medical school in Scotland before moving to the United States and gaining American citizenship. Although Thornton had no architectural training, Washington selected his design for the new U.S. Capitol.
Wow.
So, although his original version never got finished because instead of the classic dome like they have now, it essentially was like, the logo for a university. It was like, it almost looked like a cupola that was shaped like a gazebo.
Okay.
It wasn't like a big dome. It looked kind of stupid. But anyway.
Now it looks all badass today.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. And this is the really crucial thing. Thornton was also a big advocate for the relatively new practice of mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and a firm believer in the possibility of reanimating the dead.
Oh, shit. He was Frankenstein before Mary Shelley came along and was like,
yeah, so essentially the smartest guy that Washington was friends with shows up
You can breathe life into a corpse.
Shit.
Yeah, literally. Thornton
Is that like a sign of how dumb the times were? Or
I think
just
so.
this guy? Yeah.
So Thornton arrived at Mount Vernon after Washington's death. However, that did nothing to curb his confidence in being able to revive the dead president. His plan was to perform...
Stand aside!
Straight up. He just... I imagine he just burst in the door in like a fucking fur coat or something. It was like,
tastes like cereal and bugs.
oh no, Washington's dead. He's been dead by the time this guy shows up. So he just shows up. He's like, I'm here to help. And they're like, he's dead.
With what?
Yeah.
It's like, buddy, tis well.
Yeah.
Everything is tis well up in this motherfucker, dude.
It's over. But yeah, so he arrived at Mount Vernon after Washington's death. His plan was to perform an innovative but extremely rare surgical technique, a tracheotomy.
But he's dead, though. What would he accomplish?
Well, the funny thing is, like, modern medical doctors say that if performed effectively, a tracheotomy probably would have saved Washington. Because he just basically suffocated to death and then was, rubbed with poisonous beetles. But mainly he suffocated to death.
And the way they would have done it correctly, intuition.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they would.
This feels right.
Yeah. But like if they had modern stuff at their disposal at that moment, that's probably what a doctor would say. Like, hey, you can't breathe, stick a hole in their neck, kind of a thing.
Air it out.
Yeah, air it out. Yeah, if performed correctly, that would work. But at this point, Washington was dead, so it's kind of weird to do that. But that didn't stop Thornton from pitching the idea. It being December, Washington's body was completely frozen when Thornton arrived.
Oh, chronic jaw, yeah.
So he's like mega dead.
He was Walt Disney, and before Walt Disney did it well, so he really was the first. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Pioneer in so many different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Upon his encounter with Washington's stiff frozen corpse, Thornton thought back to the cases that he had read of fish being restored to life after freezing and plotted the late president's resurrection. So, again, blood bled out, toxic beetles, weed paste, suffocated.
Corpse desecration.
Yeah, and now we're moving into they don't even let him alone after he's dead. So this was his
Best
plan.
thing to do to the hole in his neck now is to put all of our penises inside of it.
I was surprised they didn't do that either. Like, let's try pee in his mouth. Maybe that would help.
Penis to mouth resuscitation. It works, gentlemen. Allow me to demonstrate.
This was Thornton's proposal. He said that he wanted to thaw Washington's corpse in cold water before rubbing him vigorously with blankets until he got warm again.
What the fuck?
So he's frozen. They're going to thaw him out, and then they're just going to go snuggle, 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 snuggle. Roll him around like he's a fucking pug.
Eyeball pops out.
Yeah.
Who's a good president?
Like he's a fucking little dog.
I'm just imagining him making the face that's on the $1 bill
I know, right?
the whole time.
So, yeah, once he was warm again, they would then stab him in the throat, opening a passage to his lungs. And as Thornton recalled in the 1820s, he would then begin, quote, inflating the lungs with air to produce an artificial respiration. So they're going to stab him in the throat.
His hands about to have artificial thoughts being expressed through his artificial gestures.
So I just like to imagine it as like a, Lucy and Ethel, like one's rubbing him, one's pumping his fucking lungs.
Right. One's moving his mouth being like, hello.
It's like jump starting a 2-stroke engine. Like you got to do it real fast, All right, let's do it all at once. Get Washington going again.
Leave it out for 50 minutes for it to unthaw. That's the way you can put it back in the oven. All right, now it's ready.
You got to let Washington rest on the cutting board before before you stab his throat.
What was his wife thinking the whole time this was happening? Was she just like, please, God,
I was tired of hearing those newspaper stories.
Yeah, well, during the point where they're like rubbing him down with beetles and all that shit, I can't even imagine. To compensate, by the way, you might be wondering, well, they drained 40% of his blood. How's Thornton going to give him blood back? He said, well, since we took all the blood, we're going to replace it with the blood of a lamb.
Oh, so they got biblical, basically. They're like,
yeah, I think so. Or they
got like pagan sacrificey, so they're gonna put the blood of the lamb.
Him. So now someone's rubbing him, someone's pumping the hole in his throat, and then another person is jabbing.
Another guy's
side.
jacking off in the corner. Right?
Yeah. And then there's just a sheep on his pillow, just got a tube running into him.
That somehow that actually did work, and he did come back. So now he has.
What did I miss?
I've seen darkness. What's going on?
No, he just comes back and just kill me.
Twas well.
Twas well. So,
Good Lord.
Nobody else at Mount Vernon, however, shared the doctor's confidence. Quote, "I was not seconded in this proposal, for it was deemed unavailing," Thornton wrote. So they didn't end up doing this. That was, but I just love a guy walks in, everybody's sad that Washington is dead, and a crazy man walks in, he's like, "All right, I got a plan. Gotta hear me out, Jerry. It's perfect." Like, he absolutely Kramered into Mount Vernon.
Oh.
Have y'all tried using blankets? Man, this could possibly work in this situation.
You just rub him around.
Yeah, we roll him around. And he's coming right back. So Thornton died in 1828. His body is buried in the Congressional Cemetery in D.C. And Washington, of course, and his wife are buried at Mount Vernon, Fairfax County, Virginia. So happy President's Day.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Yeah, I just love the detail on all of that is so great, where it's just the worst stuff you can imagine. Like, it's literally the guy was like tortured to death.
It was, I guess it is just easier to say syphilis. He died from syphilis. I remember that being the party line. Yeah, he died from syphilis.
I think that would have been much easier to say syphilis instead of, he got sawed before saw became a thing. That was
His son, who witnessed all of it, is like, he died from fucking. Not from being horribly, brutally tortured. And
like my first year medical students is like, I think this is how we do it, right? So, I think we're fine with it. Yeah.
Well, this is like the time in which, medicine at this point is just people digging up dead bodies all the time. That was like the big thing in London. All of the cemeteries, all the rich people would be buried under like 3 feet of concrete and stuff like that. So medical students couldn't steal the bodies.
And they couldn't rise from the dead and take over the town.
Yeah, that too. Do you guys know about the Galactic Star Cruiser thing at Disney?
No. Is it a Star Wars affiliated?
Yeah, well, it was. So this was a hotel at Walt Disney World that was themed Star Wars theme, but the whole thing was supposed to be an experience where you couldn't leave.
What?
Like, you could leave, I suppose, but
why would
you wouldn't want to?
Oh, okay.
But they ended up having to close it down.
What was the idea?
It was like you were supposed to be in hyperspace on a Star Cruiser, man.
Okay.
But they ended up it's been closed.
What happened?
People were like, I don't want to be inside for 3 days experiencing this.
But why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah. It is just like, why isn't everybody having fun?
Because I need a break from Disneyland when I'm taking my fucking family to Disneyland.
Right. And my brain can detect fakeness at a certain point, and it needs to break free. But yeah, they've filed a construction permit for the now closed Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser at Disney World. So they're going to turn it into something else. I was just wondering if you guys had heard about that.
No, I have detected fakeness at Disneyland. It becomes real sad when the ride stops and the lights come on.
Yeah.
And you recognize, you're like, oh, this is fake. You become very depressed at Disneyland after that. You're like, I don't want to be here anymore. This is sad.
Yeah. Do you go there regularly?
No, I went for my birthday. It was my 25th birthday, and we were riding one of those, what ride was it? The Snow White ride. It was fun, and immediately it stops, the lights come on, I just look around, see how it's all cardboard, and I'm like, oh, this isn't the most magical place in the world. This is the most cheap place in the world. Oh, shit. It's a lie.
Dude, better than Universal Studios is literally just all that, like, little cart that jumbles around a little bit with the big fake looking screen.
Motion simulator.
2000, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's weird when you're younger, like you're like, you never want it to end. And then we go as an adult, you're like, I'm good at 5. Like, like I'm good for a good 2-3 hours of this.
Oh yeah, same.
You know,
even an hour, I'm like, all right, let's go.
Right.
I did it.
So, carrying a lofty price tag of around $5,200 for a 2-day, 2-night experience.
Oh my Jesus!
Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser launched March 1st, 2022. After stronger than expected initial sales, the bookings quickly stalled, forcing Disney to look to save costs and boost reservations. The final Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser voyage was September 28th, 2023.
I wonder how much was it for right before they closed?
That's a good question. I bet knowing it was Disney, they probably hyped it up as like, it's the last one ever, and they charged
Still
double.
like $1,000 a night or something.
They probably charged double for the last one. They probably hyped it up even more.
What a soulless corporation.
You know, it's that, because I remember when it came out and people were very, very divided on it.
Because you do need a break from
Twitter.
Disney once in a while. Like, hey, look, this is fun, but I do need to go back to reality. And
Yeah. I need to go outside and drive around or look around or see birds.
That's the thing. It's like if the caffeinated child booked the hotel. It's like, and then we'll just stay at Disney the whole time. It's like, no, I need a fucking break.
I wouldn't even mind staying at Disney, but the idea of this was like, you're in this hotel for like 2 days experiencing all of the Star Wars.
Is that the idea is that you're not supposed to leave?
I think so. It's like for a 2-day experience. So they have it booked. I mean, you can leave, but their idea is like, you're here the whole time.
And then you go into your room and Jabba the Hutt's like, ho, 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 ho. And then you like go in the shower and C-3PO's like, hello, master, may I clean your butt crack? And then you're like, this isn't too much.
Yeah.
I mean, there are the Disney World celebration towns.
Oh, Celebration Florida, yeah.
And I heard apparently, a friend told me that apparently a murder happened there at Celebration Town. But the thing is, the next day they just like, you didn't hear anything else about it. You just heard a murder happened in the newspaper. Next day they're like, no reports of it or what happened.
Yeah,
So it's
the 2 weasels from Roger Rabbit come out and carry the guy away.
I mean, it's just, I think it's more Disney adult stuff where it's like, I want to be fully immersed because I never want to return to my job.
I can't.
It's just escaping childhood trauma, I guess.
And I like Star Wars. I even like some of the new Star Wars.
I love Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars.
2 days.
Talk about a brand that has been absolutely drained
They
dry,
annihilated it.
dude.
They mutated it because it was like used to be an event when the new Star Wars thing would come out. People would be like, oh shit, because they really worked on it. They were like,
right.
Hey, but now it's just like, hey, here's something coming out every 3 months, and like, okay, this is good too.
And of uneven quality. I will say Andor's like the best thing they've done since the 80s.
Disney is clockwork oranging everybody into shit that they loved when they were younger, being like, you still love it. You love Star Wars Simpsons. Star Wars Simpsons X-Men. You love it. Like they're just like doing it all, and it's just exhausting. Like I don't know. They're not aiming towards millennials. They're aiming towards kids.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And they just don't want to be like, so what's a new Star Wars?
I know. Let's keep them in a room for 2 days. Yeah.
More Star Wars. Give them more.
No, it's I always give tours to people I'll drive to Anaheim and pick people up who've just come from Disneyland, and the parents are so stoked to not be at Disney for a while.
Oh yeah, I think they're happy about it. They're like, they light up again. Their skin is rejuvenated. They're like, hey, this is the world. Awesome.
Like I'll, get in the car. The 2 parents will get in the car, and then, all the kids and stuff like that. And if the kids are making noise, they'll just be like, this is our day. You had your day for the last 3 days at Disney. This is for us. This is for Mom and Dad.
You're going to the Grove now. Shut up.
And that's them just being at Disney, not locked inside the Star Wars hotel.
Yeah.
That's being outdoors and seeing all of Disneyland.
R2 can give you a new tampon.
Hey. Jesus.
Everything is just trying to become so immersive now. It's like Apple has a VR headset now. It's all just the same shit. They're just trying to like further and further remove you from reality, but into popular properties. Like no one wants to be like whisked away by a new idea. It's just like, how much further can you block out reality by being inside something that makes you feel warm and toasty inside?
Yeah.
And that for a lot of people is like Tatooine.
I just need something. I need other stuff happening in my life. I can't just just be around Star Wars stuff in a hotel. But it is just like that overconfidence in their ideas where they're like, no, everyone will love this. I know it sounds unnatural and it could drive a person crazy, but we'll just do it. Everybody will love it.
Do they have the rights to The Shining?
Ooh, good question.
Because they should do a Shining hotel for sure.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Spooky.
You just have like loudspeakers being like, want some ice cream, Doc? Shit like that.
Make you actually hear voices after a while.
Someone just randomly gets axe murdered.
All right, let's do a murder mystery. It was Jack Torrance. God damn it. All right. Murder mystery's over. Do you do amusement parks regularly, Justin?
I haven't been to amusement park in the last 3 years. Oh, that's not true. The recent one I was in was 2 years ago. It was at Nights of Horror at Universal Studios.
Oh, there you go.
That was different though. I actually kind of like that more because it was just like, okay, just going to the haunted mansions, or haunted mazes.
Right, the mazes, that kind of thing.
More fun to do during the day where you're just walking around and you just hate yourself. I think I realized I hated amusement parks, so I went with my family to Disneyland, Animal Kingdom, and I took an edible, and I was thinking, oh, this could be the most fun, badass thing ever. But I forgot I'm in the Florida Everglades where it's hot as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And so it became the most depressing high I've ever experienced in my life. I was just like, oh shit, I'm in this right now, stoned, in long lines. Like, it just so like weaves over you, and just like, it really hits you the fact that, oh, I'm high at Disney.
Oh man,
Animal Kingdom. Oh god, what have I done with myself? Like this, I try to find an exit or out, and I was just like, I'm like stuck here now and stuff. It's
man.
It's I Carly took me to Universal Studios for my birthday, and it was very fun. And I took an edible before. I even asked her, like, "Is this a thing that you're gonna take?" She made it a surprise. Like, "Is this a thing that I should take a weed gummy? Would I enjoy it during this?" And she's like, "Probably yes."
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it, but I have been back to Universal City Walk quite a bit to use their movie theater.
I swear to God, I thought you were about to say to use their Margaritaville.
to utilize their Margaritaville to take meetings at the Margaritaville. No, it's just the concept of going to that City Walk all the time and being a regular at any of those places is funny to me.
It's just a sad reality of it and stuff. It's like, hey, what's up, Joe? It's like, you should talk to your family, Michael. No. Like,
I never go to that theater because they make you pay for the parking.
Yeah.
No, it's free. They validate it.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah.
I just don't want to take all the fucking escalators and do all the shit to get there.
Shit.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
That's
go
fair.
to. They have like the Forrest Gump restaurant, Bubba Gump.
Bubba Gump?
Going there, I hated it so much.
Don't they ask you trivia?
They do. No, they have like what they have is like, I think next to the table they have trivia questions you can answer.
Oh, okay.
But they don't do themselves. I hate it because they have po' boys there, but it was like the most rubbery po' boy. It's like po' boy made by someone who doesn't know what a po' boy is. So they just like, all right, I guess we'll put a hot dog bun. And so like it's like you eat it. I was just so disappointed in it. I'm like, oh, this is what did I expect really?
Yeah. Speaking of New Orleans, did you ever go to that Six Flags before?
Yeah, I did.
Closed down.
Actually, that's where I live. It's my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like
shit, really?
It's still there, abandoned as
it's
fuck.
Abandoned since Katrina.
Yeah, it's dark. It's cynical. It's someone told me one time, a kid friend from high school told me, like, yeah, I drove there one time. I saw a guy spanking his child, and he looked up at me and said, "You want some of this in this abandoned amusement park?" I'm like, oh shit. And so I was like, okay, that's where people go to, I guess, hit their kids and stuff. There's no witnesses.
That's where Bucked Up was founded.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, man.
You want some of this? Holy shit.
It's like, how bad did the kid act for his dad to pull over into that abandoned amusement park? No one's here. I'm going to spank you like I need to spank you. Like, you can't do that at home. I have to do it at an abandoned amusement park. Yeah.
Like he scaled a fence to beat this kid's ass in.
They've been trying to sell that amusement park for years to different companies.
Oh, yeah. All those photos.
Yeah.
We'll have to put some up on the Twitter so people can see them.
It's sad.
Terrifying.
It's so sad looking at it. Like, seeing a ride, she's a ride as a child, and you're like, oh, God. Like, they like, because I think they tried to sell at one point to Nickelodeon, was trying to do it and stuff, and then nothing happened. Then NOLA.com on Instagram, they just posted about like, Texas is getting Six Flags, and people in the comments were like, wait, what's that to do with us? Like, why are you telling us this? Like, is this a shade thrown at us? Like, hey, remember we used to have one of these? And
also, I think Texas already has one.
Right,
too. Yeah,
that was the weird part too.
Another one.
I was like, wait, what was the whole point? This is NOLA.com. Why are we telling about Texas news? Like, what? Who's this benefiting? Like, what the? It's like.
Oh my God!
It used to be Jazzland though.
That's right. Yeah, before it was Six Flags.
Yeah.
Jazzland was
just their attempt, New Orleans' attempt at amusement park, like to show, like, hey, we not only are we, a place for adults to be, we also be a place for kids to be at. And so it was Jazzland, and Jazzland was like the grand opening day. I went to grand opening day because I remember NSYNC was there and stuff.
Whoa!
People were freaking out about NSYNC showing up.
Wow.
I saw NSYNC walking and stuff and everything, and people were like huddling, like, oh my God. So I got to see Timberlake do a bungee ride and stuff. So it was fun. I was like, oh, shit.
He was like, get me down.
Yeah. Let me off.
Oh,
yeah, Alabama had one I think it's still there. It's called Visionland. That was there.
Yeah.
Like, nobody from Six Flags had any interest in building anything in Birmingham. So, like, we'll just do our own.
Right.
And they had one wooden roller coaster called the Rampage.
My friends in the band Banditos named
Oh,
their
I
second
love
album
Banditos.
Visionland.
No shit.
Yeah.
Those guys are cool. I got to
Love them. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to
Great
see them
band, too.
in Waverly a few years ago.
Yeah, Visionland was like, if you got a good 15 minutes in that pool, good on you, because kids were peeing and shitting in that pool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Constantly.
That's true. Yeah, the water park was more fun than the actual amusement park. I think at Visionland.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess no Star Wars Hotel. It's
George
over.
Lucas must
In
be
theory, it's like
George Lucas jumped off at exactly the right
I
time.
think he knew it. He hated it.
yeah, you just do whatever you want with the property. I don't care anymore. Just keep.
I'll just talk shit.
Yeah.
I'll just be here talking shit about you.
It's just funny. Now, all the fans who were shitting on George Lucas now say they miss him and stuff, and they're like, we were wrong. We sorry for saying you raped our childhood. We recognize how idiotic that was. We didn't mean for Jake Lloyd to be schizophrenic and a guy to play Jar Binks to have suicidal thoughts. We're sorry.
Oh God, that was awful.
It's like 3 so-so prequels. Could not portain what Disney has done with Star Wars, which is just being like, Star Wars diapers and Star Wars tampons and Star Wars tattooed on the back of your eyelids.
I mean, they had all that shit though. They were like a licensing.
No, it was a small independent.
It was a little
thing,
indie movie,
especially when we were growing up.
Y'all, we have time for just one more segment, and of course, this is our jam of the week.
What you gonna do now?
Oh yeah, this is of course Red Hot Chili Peppers with their song "Give It Away" from the album Blood Sugar Sex Magic from 1991. Y'all know this song? Do you have a familiarity?
Of course.
Of course. I mean,
video, everything.
If you were making a movie in the 90s and there was a party, you had to
Pauly
have
Shore is in that party.
You had to have this song and you had to have Jump Around the House of Pain. Those are the 2 required songs for any movie party scene in the 90s.
I've tried so much to find something I like about this band. And
Really?
I just can't.
Well, it's just a weird thing about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, they're the most music proficient band.
Totally.
That makes the least music proficient songs of all time. It's so weird to me. I'm like, how are you guys talented?
Well, it's because that they have it's half good, half shit. Like half of it is Flea and John Frusciante. The other half is Will Ferrell and the Horny Naked Band.
As somebody said, and it got repeated a bunch, so maybe this is some reference that I don't get, but somebody on the YouTube comments said that Anthony Kiedis is his sleep paralysis demon.
That makes sense.
And it is so goddamn funny to imagine somebody, sitting in their bed and they can't move, but just give it away. It's just him, with his shirt off, standing at the foot of your bed.
I mean, like Anthony Kiedis is like Iggy Pop on Viagra.
Yeah. And that was the other thing. There was a lot of references to Epstein's Island, and I was like, Anthony Kiedis did not need Jeffrey Epstein to have sex with 17-year-olds. He was doing that on his own.
Yeah, freely.
Yeah. Freelance.
Even mentioned in his book. He's like, I was doing this stuff. Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I will say his rapping voice I appreciate more than his singing voice. I hate his singing voice.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I got Californication when I was 13.
I had it. Of course I had it.
I listened to the shit out of it. So there's always a small part of me that still likes the Chili Peppers. I saw them live. Friend of the show, Joe Raines, somehow won free tickets to go see him at the Staples Center. And he texted me and he was like, "Did you sign me up to win Red Hot Chili Peppers tickets?" I'm like, "No." And
so now we're dispensing our Joe Raines.
The worst prank ever is to sign someone for free Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets.
yeah, well, I think it was some girl he was seeing at the time worked at like iHeartMedia and just like rigged the contest. But what it sounded like at first when he told me that, I was like, do you have a kid you don't know about? Because it sounds like what they do to like deadbeat dads where they'll send them all like, you want a free Blu-ray player, and then you show up and they arrest you for non-payment of alimony or child support.
Yeah.
I was like, they're tricking a bunch of deadbeat dads into coming to a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert.
Joe got a free drum lesson from Chad Smith.
No, but yeah, we did go. It was fun. It was like one of those.
Sure.
It was like check it off. Like I've seen them.
I think it's one of those bands that like if you see them live, it starts to kind of make sense. But,
Yeah. But they're, and I will say, like, as old as they are, because Anthony Kiedis, I think, turned 60 this year.
Yeah, he's 75. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also too interesting how Red Hot Chili Peppers are the one proof that heroin really doesn't work well for all musicians.
Right.
Like, somehow for them, it's just like, oh no, it made it sound much worse. This isn't good for it.
This video has 92 million views, 16,973 comments, and y'all, I read every goddamn last one of them.
It's interesting watching because I've never seen it from this angle. This is how Sam.
This is how Sam sees it. Yeah,
I'm just looking at the back of your computer, so now I'm seeing. Okay, all right.
So let's get into these YouTube comments on "Give It Away" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. First up, Maskin Silo from I don't know what that means.
Green
from 1 month ago.
That's what I say too. It's spelled SELO.
Yeah,
so.
maybe it's Cello, Maskin Cello from 1 month ago. I can't think no more. I'm a fucking machine.
Shit.
LSD, Sweden.
Whoa.
All right, shout out to Maskin and our friend Anders listening in Sweden. Bonjour or whatever you guys say.
Bonjour.
No, it's not bonjour. Next up, Brett Kerr from 2 years ago. My sleep paralysis demon at the end of my bed is aluminum-coated Anthony Kiedis dancing to this. So, like I said,
insane crazy, do a little baby. I think that says whenever he imitates. Whenever he imitates Anthony Kiedis, he says "insane crazy, dance like a little baby." I think is what he says, which I imagine is the Windows 95 baby.
The Ally McBeal, yeah. Enigmatic Lucifer from 10 years ago, and I love this shit. This is the greatest intro ever. But then the Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of ruined the song with their bullshit.
God, that's how I feel about all their shit.
Is it?
Like it's about to be good, then he's like herbity boo, and it sucks.
Okay, I guess that's what they mean. It's just
Chad Smith. I'll even forgive Chad Smith.
Yeah,
he's
fine.
He's fine. He looks like Will Ferrell, and he has a Fred Durst hat.
Yeah,
but he plays drums good.
Next up, FXS Rider from 6 years ago. I saw this for the first time many years back when it came on MTV. I had just had hot sex with my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
I sat up amazed. What the fuck was I seeing? Ooh. I bought a guitar the next day. Thank you, guys. Took me down a path I will never recover from. What a dream.
And his hot girlfriend left him the next day.
Yeah, 100%.
This guy is fucking 58 and is obese now.
Along similar lines, the Congenital from 4 months ago. I dream of losing my virginity to this song. It's too late, though, because I've had 4 kids, all of them made to techno.
Oh.
Do not tell your children this.
And why are my kids so depressed right now? I don't know.
You were made to Aphex.
I was about to say, you were Sandstorm, you were Daft Punk.
Justice.
Justice, yeah.
Little Boards of Canada, baby.
Yeah, for those of you with children, never tell your kids any of that information.
Yeah, I'm an Engelbert Humperdinck kid.
Yeah, Paul Anka. David Ristamanov from 12 years ago. This video makes you think they are high, but they ain't. It's the music that gets you.
They are.
It's the music that gets you overdosed. This video is better than going out with some friends or having a date. LOL. Just turn the volume up, close your doors, get completely naked, and rock the shit out of you. This is cool.
This is cool.
This was his suicide note. He came to the world 12 years ago.
Harris Alexius from 12 years ago. This was really disturbing video. They kissing, licking their tongues out at once. Squatting towards the camera. Listen to the words, LMAO. This is sickening. I like a person who is scandalized from a video from 1991. They're just like, oh, heavens to Betsy.
And it's just
too
them
much.
gyrating in the desert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
she's like talking about there's like a scene where like the camera's and he's like shaking his crotch above the camera. Oh,
right.
no, we can't handle that.
Now the Weird Al Yankovic parody of the song where it's about the Flintstones, truly scandalous.
That's one of my
yabba dabba do now.
It's one of my favorite moments in Weird Al's Behind the Music is how disappointed the Red Hot Chili Peppers were by it. They were like, yeah, we were stoked to have a Weird Al song. And then we were kind of like, oh, it's not that good. I was like, shut up. It's great.
Well, he was going to do Under the Bridge, and it was going to be called Under the Fridge, and he was going to try to grab a Cheeto under the fridge, but they're like, that song's about heroin.
Yeah, it's our special song. We can't.
It's our special song that you can't make fun of.
A recurring theme throughout a lot of this is adults who are still scared of the devil. Back to our discussion of the Super Bowl. Ulti77 from 13 years ago. Okay, guys, I got a big problem. I have loved the Chili Peppers forever, but recently I've been reading a lot about the Illuminati and Satanism, and when I look at this video, it's full of Satanism. I've seen loads of pictures of them doing satanic hand gestures.
Oh, boy.
They thank Satan for helping them at the VMA Awards. I see the homage paid to Satan in the video. Ah, geez. Sometimes I just wish I didn't know about the Illuminati because my bubble gets popped left and right, just like this. What the fuck? Please help me.
Oh, buddy.
So for those listening, not in America, this is what happens when you put a paywall in front of mental health care.
Yes.
You just get people left to their own devices to come up with crazy shit.
Just looking way too deeply into a video that came out 30 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was not uncommon. There were so many references, like, oh, he did the Baphomet sign.
This
and all this
artsy
shit.
music videos of the devil somehow. I need my standard music videos.
Between that and the Ice Spice and the Taylor Swift shit from last night, I'm like, never let me be famous. I will be doing low-key devil shit to fuck with QAnon people constantly. Benjamin Vasquez from 9 months ago. Tony T, this video is my favorite. Don't you French kiss the Satan somewhere. Uh-oh, we got another Satan thing.
Never got a Satan thing off of this video.
I still care, but I'll let you run with the devil. Oh, wait, that's Van Halen. Baby, I gotta go. I gotta nail you down when you're in an old folks home. I'll bring you your oatmeal. Tony T, that's my friend. My friend. You got yours, I got mine. The two shall never commingle.
This was a schizophrenic attack right now.
Again.
Tony is my friend.
I love Tony, not you. Got a few more here. Ma Jacarika from 3 years ago. Fuck off, Red Hot. From this day, I hate everything you have done. And you can thank your stupid fans for that. There will be a big black stone mountain dividing my and your space. Long live John Frusciante, the lone survivor of RHCP. He will reach the coast of God's blessings.
Damn.
It's so fucking amazing.
It's definitely like some kind of sublime crunchiness in there too.
Oh yeah, of course. It's all
It's the same guy.
Yeah. It's just, it's
311 1-up blessings.
It's people who lived in the Inland Empire too long and their brains have been sunburned.
Right.
Let's see. Dave Andrew King. Argentina loves Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's funny because I'm at school. We work with netbooks and I'm listening to this song. Love RHCP. Fuck your math teacher. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Spicy Kid out of Argentina.
Wow.
Love that. Let's see. A couple more. This is Fish Head Salad 5 days ago. Uh-oh. Hot off the presses.
Oh, boy.
The chug-a-lug sounds very lame. And adding extra syllables to someone who is rolling their tongue sounds a little redundant. We can all give it away, whatever it may be, without the dramatics. And why does that guy pasting horns to his head in pants? Every antlered or horned animal I've ever encountered is dumb. Is he just telling us that he's a dummy?
Wait, which member has the horns on in the video?
I believe it's Flea, because at the beginning he's got like the horns coming out of his pants, and then the sand kind of like separates out from him. Yeah, so I don't know. I just love. It was something I mentioned on the Patreon about people reacting to the beekeeper being like, "This is woke bullshit." And I'm like, there is an inflatable bounce house in your backyard, and everyone's having a good time. You are sitting inside with your arms crossed right now. Go have fucking fun. It's fine. And this guy has just done that, essentially, just being like, well, I would like this, but
yeah, find some reason not to like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
search
just
for it.
Just be who you are, man. No problem. This is the last one here. Eva Libby from 3 years ago. Me at 16, my norm was welcome to NorCal. Me at 17, it was me hosting my parties in Napa, California, my hometown. Party at our house, but just kegger parties with weed, beer bongs, quarters, with pool. Just teens having fun, playing golf drunk, and I won. I beat Eli many times, but one night he started being a dick, and we had a fish tank, and I kicked him from behind, and I forgot it was there, and his head went through. Holy shit. Dysfunction golf in my teens in the Bay Area. And then there's a crucial ... And then the tone changes entirely. Just having fun in my teens in the Bay Area ... Please find someone named Amadeus in the NorCal Mendocino area. I am not fucking joking. He is my people. He grows legal pot and lets us cry and hug. Don't fuck with beautiful, precious friends, or I will sucker punch you, motherfuckers. I am backed by my friends. Fuck you, bastards.
Yo, Amadeus better be careful, man.
I mean, I think Amadeus is a cult leader. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. This is where he's like, you must find Amadeus. He lets us cry and hug.
Don't worry about Eli, though. Did Eli survive that fish tank attack?
We buried him in the woods.
Give it away, indeed.
Yeah, Amadeus caught me burying Eli, and I had to join his group or he would tell. And that is the Red Hot Chili Peppers with Give It Away, our jam of the week. Justin Otis, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Justin's, JUSTINSOTIS. I got a couple shows coming up. One's called Mixed Bag. It's going to be at Cosmic Vinyl Records.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
I like doing shows at record stores.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And then I'm doing another show called Drinking Habituals for me and another comic. Shout out Drew Landry. We're going to
I love Drew Landry.
So we're going to get wasted and tell each other's dark secrets to a crowd of strangers. So,
okay.
Whatever he says about me, he's a damn lie. I never committed it. The judge found me to be innocent. So, out there and stuff. So, yeah, you just follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's called Justin Connoisseur because I got to feed the algorithm God so I can try to find success in this art called stand-up comedy and not be pretentious about it. So, that too. So, quick shout out. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Carter, where can people find you on the internet?
Carter_Glasscock on Instagram. That's about it. Probably have some more reviews for New Noise coming down the pike, so check those out.
Oh, sweet.
And you can go on YouTube. You can check out a little commercial I did for Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
And, I'm getting barbecue sauce doused in my face. So
Yes.
look at the one that says something about barbecue sauce.
I put it in the Discord for our people to see it. So I think most of our listeners have seen it.
Okay, great. Yeah. But yeah, you can find it on YouTube. I have a link on my Instagram. But
So goddamn funny when they hit you in the face with the barbecue sauce. What is the line? Because I think
why? No!
Yeah, that's right. Why? It's amazing. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley. And if you'd like to come see me do stand-up on Saturday, February 24th, I'm going to be at Wrigley Comedy Chew down in Long Beach, California on San Francisco Avenue. Go find Wrigley Comedy Chew on Facebook for the address and all that. That is a backyard show where sometimes the guy shows up with fudge, sometimes another guy shows up with tamales. So they got food and everybody chills in the backyard and tell some jokes. So come out to that. Join the Discord if you haven't already. We are on Discord. You can find that on our Linktree /TheGoodsPod. And you can find the show on Twitter at TheGoodsPod. Every episode ever. YouTube.com/TheGoodsPod. Buy a shirt. ProWrestlingTees.com /TheGoodsPod will make you look skinny on TV. join the Patreon. That's the best way to support the show. If you are watching this, you are already supporting us in the best way possible because we just filmed this episode, y'all. We got to figure out how we're going to do this, but we'll see. We're going to try to film every episode if we can. Obviously, if I'm, recording in Birmingham or something in the park, maybe not, but, or if I have a bad hair day, but at any rate, we're going to try to do this as much as we can. So if you do join the Patreon, you will get to see us do this episode, warts and all. You'll get to see me say a bunch and try to read.
You're going to see me fact checking on my phone unsuccessfully a lot.
So join us at patreon.com/thegoodspod. And second best way to support this show, go to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Show the attitude of gratitude, because if you do not have the attitude of gratitude, Daddy, George Washington's doctor is coming at you with that Beetle paste.
Sweet Beetle paste.
The Goods from the Woods was recorded and edited by me, Rivers Langley. You can find our show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by Jonas, the Space Cowboy.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.